Hello and welcome back to another Waffle and War. Today, you've got me, Joe, and you've got my companion, Captain Azza.
Good morrow.
We're just waffling and warring as we normally do. Azza, what are you doing at the moment?
Right now, I'm edge highlighting my least favourite of all tasks. I'm edge highlighting dark green power armor.
Lovely, dark green power armor. Um, I,
Yeah,
I'm not looking forward to edge highlighting some ultramarines. I'm just currently just doing my Tyrann effects, slowly working on him still. So yeah,
excellent. Yeah, he's looking good. Yeah, it's
uh,
one thing about the power armor. After sort of having a break from Space Marines going to Orcs, now that I've come back to power armor, it's made me realise I was right the whole time. It isn't that fun. But I do love how it looks, which is the worst part.
Yeah, yeah. I find myself getting very frustrated with edge highlighting, and then I come back and I'm like, "Oh, that looks cool," even if it's
Yeah.
messy. It looks cool.
Yeah, agreed. I'm at that messy stage at the minute because I'm such a sucker for punishment. I do a very messy edge highlight with the Warpstone Glow green paint, which is horrendously transparent,
Mm.
and then come back in with the moot green, and I'm at the transparent green step. It's the most demoralising because it takes the longest, but I shouldn't complain because I do like doing it to a certain degree.
Yeah, yeah. Well, as long as it looks good when it's done, that's the main thing. All that
Yeah,
pain and sweat, as long as they look cool.
absolutely, absolutely. But I'm only bitter because I'm just again coming back from orcs,
Yeah,
and they're a bit more fun to paint, to be honest.
yeah, yeah. Well, they're cool looking models. To be fair, Space Marines are a bit sort of flat, but they're cool. I like playing them.
Oh yeah, absolutely. No, I love my Dark Angels, and I love how they look. But you're right. It's just I'm painting Hellblasters at the minute, and they're basically just intercessors with different guns.
Mm. Yeah. So, interesting stuff coming out. So Valrak has had some whispers through the warp. So
Oh yeah.
new Space Marines coming out for 10th edition. Terminators, including a HQ, a Flamer unit, much like the oh, who were they? There, what models
The
were they?
the Gravis, the aggressors,
No,
Flamestorm
no,
aggressors.
no. The Black Templars have a Flamer, don't they?
Oh yes, but it was just like one guy, wasn't it?
Yeah, so there's supposed to be what he's saying. There's a squad of that unit. There's a new veteran squad coming out, and there's a new range dreadnought.
Now I might be misremembering, but weren't they talking about jump pack marines to coincide with the Space Marine video game?
Yeah, but there's been no more rumors about them. They're obviously going to come. I imagine around about the same time as the game. I'm
Yeah,
quite unless they're including them in the veteran squads, maybe.
new veterans would be pretty cool because the Primaris intercessor veterans are pretty pants.
Well, they're just Primaris, aren't they? That you don't pay for them, do you anymore? They're just more. They're just expensive. The one
They're
point.
elites and they're more expensive in points. Yeah,
Mm, they get
that's
is
about.
it one more
You
attack and one higher level of leadership or something like that.
oh yeah, that's it. Yeah,
Waste of time, really.
yeah, definitely.
Boo. So yeah, they're the only rumors. Varak seems to be adamant that they're going to announce the Lion tomorrow at the Warhammer Day Festival thing, whatever it
Can't
is they're
wait for
doing.
that.
We'll see. We'll see if he does. And then obviously we're going to Warhammer World next week. Looking much excited. Very wow. Much wow.
Yeah, can't wait. Gonna be great.
Yeah. And seeing as Chris isn't joining us today because he's disappeared into the warp, we don't know where he's gone. That means we can freely continue to talk about our detachments, um,
Uh,
our roster, sorry, and our strategic battles. So last time we waffled and war, I was mid saying, I was mid opening battle scribe, and then going to talk about the detachment I was bringing, and then
oh yeah.
I forgot.
Well, that's because we end up talking about such interesting things besides war.
Yes, absolutely. So my new list is very different from the list from not last time, the time before. So I'm looking forward to bringing that. I may have told Chris loosely what I'm bringing because he told me what he was bringing.
Would you care to elaborate for the podcast?
I shall. So my list is as follows. It's an Outrider detachment costing 3
Ooh.
command points. There is a librarian, Primaris librarian with Cypher's Gaze and Storm of the Emperor's Wrath, which I haven't put his warlord trait on actually, but Scyther's Gaze basically gives you a command point back, which I thought would be useful. And then any
Because we're
friendly,
sharing.
yep. And then any friendly Ultramarines within 18 inches gets to re-roll hits, wound, or damage. I thought would be quite useful.
Mm.
Certainly if I put it next to like my Eliminators or something. And then I've got Storm of the Emperor's Wrath, which basically 18 inches of the Psyker, roll 1d6 for each model in that unit. Each 6 suffers 1 mortal wound. So he's bringing like, I think 30, maybe 40 warriors. So that's a lot of potential dices that are going to be 6 dice. That's 6
Yeah, that's not good.
for him.
Hmm.
And then I'm bringing my Invicta Tactical Warsuit, which has got the auto cannon because it's got a 46-inch range. So I should be able to get some good firing from the other side of the table.
Nice. Yeah.
Then I'm bringing my Vanguard veteran squad, the Flying Wolverines, because they've all got claws.
Hmm.
So my plan is to get. So Chris reminded me earlier on because I said to him that I was bringing them. He says, "Don't you have a stratagem that does mortal wounds when they land in a charge?" I was like, "I forgot, but thank you." So that'll be useful.
That's cool. That's like the Inceptors then.
Yes, yeah. Although I think the Inceptors lost that ability, haven't they? That
Hey,
was that was Meteor something. It was called.
meteoric strike. That was
Yeah,
it.
they lost that in ninth. But I don't know if I can use it with the stratagem. Actually, thinking about it, might have moved to the stratagem. Don't know. But yeah, so my vanguards are equipped with lightning claws, apart from the sergeant. The lightning claws, so they're equipped with 2. So each time the bearer fights, it makes 1 additional attack with this weapon. It's got 2 of them, so it makes 2 additional attacks, and then
Very nice.
they can re-roll their wound roll. So each of them have got 4 attacks, and the sergeant only has 3 attacks. So they're going to be pretty useful, I hope, against the warriors. They're going to mop them up a bit, and then the sergeant has got a relic blade and a storm shield as well. So he's got a +4 invul save, and then a +2 normal save, basically. And I've got
So he's going to be an absolute blighter, shall we say, to get off the board.
He is. Now you get stuck a little bit because it's a case of, do I allocate the wounds onto him so he can use his invul save, or do I allocate the wounds on everybody else and leave him to the last minute? So then he's then chipping away. I don't know.
Oh, very good point. I've never had a squad that's given me that option.
So we played it before with Chris a while ago in one of the videos that we filmed, and I wasn't too sure. And I think somebody said basically if you're allocating the wounds to him, he does the +4 invul saves, because obviously your saving throws on the wounds, isn't it? Not on the other part. So, but I could potentially, and it would give me more points because they're not free still. So I could give them 1 lightning claw and 1 shield each, so they all get 1 extra attack, and then they all get the ability to shrug off. That's what most people equip them with, but I kind of like the fact that they've got 2 claws.
Well, they're modelled with 2 claws, aren't they? But
Yes, yeah, I've given them 2 claws. But and then I've got my Inceptor squad, which I've paid 1 command point for to have Mastercraft weapons. So the sergeant, he gets +1 to his weapons characteristics. So there'll be a strength 6 for him. Oh,
Inceptors.
yeah, Inceptors, you can have Honoured Sergeant command
That's
point.
pretty cool.
Yeah. Especially if you've got some plasma based weapons, and the sergeant gets the extra supercharge, and you've got the extra wound, the extra strength to it.
Very good.
And then I've bought the Outrider squad for getting up the table pretty quick.
I think that's going to be important because obviously played on the 8 foot by 4 foot board, are we?
Something like the big bloody board.
Sounds like it's going to take a while.
So I can advance these guys, and they'll get I think it's +6, yeah, +6 to their standard. Instead of doing an advanced roll, you just add 6 to the movement, so they go up to 20. And they've not got assault weapons, but still, I could zip them up the board and then hide them. Then I bring in my Storm Speeder Thunderstrike, which has got a Storm Fury missiles, which is a range of 48, and then Thunderstrike Las Talon, which is 36, and then Twin Icarus pods. Bring in my suppressors so they can drop down. They've got the heavy 3 48-inch auto cannons, and then eliminators. And I've equipped, so my sergeant has got the instigated bolt carbine, which basically allows me, where's it gone? Oh yeah, covering fire in your shooting phase after this unit has shot if it is not in engagement range of an enemy and it contains a sergeant with an instigated bolt carbine. It can make a normal move, so I can move them, shoot them, and move them off again.
I'm glad I'm not fighting you, to be honest.
And then my last unit is the Impulsor, and I'm purely bringing that because it's got the Bellicatus missile, which is a 48-inch range, and it's got 3 different profiles that I can choose from. So one of them is a D6, and if Chris is bringing as many warriors as he's saying, it's got blast, so it's always going to do 6 damage. 6 shots. Yeah.
Can I ask a naive question?
Yes.
How in the name of Nurgle's nipples have you got that under 1,000 points?
That is 994 points.
Sounds like a lot.
Get calculator open. You ready? Primaris Librarian, 85 points.
Hold up, I've not got it out yet.
No.
And the calculator. Oh, we're waffling properly now. Okay. All right, 85.
Yeah, 85 for the Primaris Librarian. 140 points for the Invicta Warsuit.
Yeah.
144 points for the Vanguard Veteran Squad.
Okay.
100 and... Oh, hang on. I'm looking at the wrong... Yeah. Wait. No. Yeah. Oh, it's done it in fast attack. I don't know what it's done that for. I'm looking at the wrong bit. Sorry. Yeah. Yeah, so 144 for the Vanguard. 120 for the Inceptors. 105 for the Outriders. 135 for the Thunderstrike. 90 for the Suppressors. 75 for the Eliminator Squad. And 100 points for the Impulsor.
Very good. I don't know much about all of them, and that was a lot all at once. So by having 120 points for the Inceptors, you're having the bolt ones then?
Yes, yeah.
Gotcha.
I'm leaving the plasma to the Dark Angels. It's their sort of,
It's their bag. Yeah.
Are you bringing Inceptors?
Yes.
Are you bringing the plasma or the bolters?
Apparently the plasmas aren't very good for the points, but I feel I should.
Okay, if you can afford it. Don't forget that I've got 994, but it leaves you with hardly any points extra. But there's a little, there's a few points there for you.
6 points just to top it up a little, yeah. I like that.
A little smidge.
Very generous of you, man.
Absolutely. So we just have to remember that we can't fire through each other.
But we can fire through our own units.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
No, cool. No. You can fire through your own squad. You can't fire through your own units, and you can't fire through your allies or enemy units.
Yeah.
So how many Inceptors are you planning on bringing? You've got 3 or 6? I can't remember.
I've got 3 bolt and 3 plasma.
Are you bringing both of them?
I wasn't planning on both. I could bring both and proxy the bolt ones as plasma.
Well, yeah, it's a
So I got
friendly
6 plasma.
friendly game.
In-
I mean,
Yeah.
and then we could be an absolute bastard and deploy them at the same time. The
Oh.
main thing we've got to be really careful of is Chris spreading out his units and then denying us the ability to deploy.
Okay.
Because there was somebody that won their league game by having, I think we mentioned it before, he had got the white scars and they were all bikes and he just basically dominated the board and the person couldn't drop any reinforcements or something like that.
That was it, yeah. Oh, I'm tempted now to have 6.
I think you should. I think it'd be cool.
Because it's Assault D3 though. So I guess that's good for Necrons because it's blast. So in this case, blast would mean if it's in a group of more than
11.
6 that you're firing at.
Yeah, more than 11 you get the maximum range. More than 6 you get the minimum range.
Okay, so it's
Or
Assault
minimum amount.
D3, and if it's a blast between 6 and 10, it's a minimum of 3 attacks. Okay, so maximum attacks
Something like
against Necrons, basically.
Yeah, which
Ooh.
is so. I was going to try and bump up to plasma with the Inceptors, but I actually thought that the bolters will be better.
It's more, for hordes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Is
So
he definitely going with the hordes? Because wasn't he getting a Catan thing?
yeah, he's not been able to get the Catan. That thing
Oh,
is a beast. I don't know if you've seen the data sheet for it, but that is a fucking beast.
Do you know what Catans actually are in the lore?
They're demigods, aren't they, or gods or something?
Yeah, they're like gods that the Necron tier, so the species before the Necrons, made a deal with.
Yeah.
To try and kill the old ones, the frog creatures. And they're the ones that tricked them, that turned them into robots.
I still really like the law. I remember reading it somewhere that the void dragon was it Robuto that defeated it and then trapped it in Mars and then something like that, and then his influence, that the void dragon's influence has been leaking through the cracks in Mars and has been basically slowly corrupting the admech and turning them into obviously what they are now, which is like android sort of robots, like the Necrons. They're not robots, but they're androids, aren't that's the right term. They've enhanced themselves.
Cyborgs.
That's it. There's more cyborgs.
Gotcha.
Yeah,
interesting.
I like that. And admech are known for raiding the Necron tombs as well, and stealing all their technology and then using it to help the emperor, the humanity basically.
Yeah. And when you say the void dragon, I just think of the Ender dragon.
The void dragon, it's a Necron god, isn't it? Void dragon 40k. There you go. The Catan shard, the void dragon, sometimes referred as the dragon, thought its proper name is Magaladoth. Magladroth is one of the remaining few Catan, one of the Necron star gods in the Milky Way. The void dragon, or the large Catan shard of it, is believed by some tech priests to be the actual machine god.
Everything's the machine god.
There may be a connection between this being and the dragon of Mars, an unknown entity which is imprisoned beneath the surface of Mars, would become the emperor of mankind before the start of the Age of Strife. The void dragon, if it actually exists, is arguably the most powerful surviving Catan, particularly after the banishment of the Nightbringer's phase scythe to the warp.
I don't know what that is.
Me neither, but it sounds cool.
It blooming well does.
Yeah, I really like the lore. Just so much of it. Entirely Eventually, the Void Dragon was shattered into shards and imprisoned by the Necrons by the Silent King, which led to his revolt against the Catan.
Very good.
Yeah, I don't know if you've seen the Nightbringer's data sheets. It's pretty horrible. Like, it can only lose three wounds per round.
All right. Yeah.
And hang on, some data sheet. I saw on Reddit there was somebody asking about how to bring it down, and the most successful faction to bring it down is the Tyranids, because they excel in psychic, in shooting, and in melee at the moment. Obviously, you can only bring you might be able to kill it in one turn if you can get enough wounds through on each of those rounds. But yeah, what does it do? Oh yeah, so it's got a +4 invul save. Can only lose 3 wounds per phase. It knows Gaze of Death, which is a Catan power. So much like the Admech have got the Canticles ability that we can't do anything about, these guys have got Catan powers that you can't do anything about. You can't deny them.
That's nasty.
Yeah. So his ability is select one unit within 9 inches of the and is visible of the Catan shard. Roll 3d6s. For each 4+, that unit suffers d3 mortal wounds. That's mean. That's real mean. I'm glad he's not got it yet. Or ever.
Yeah,
Or ever.
me too.
It's got
How many points is it?
It's
Out of curiosity.
320.
Okay.
So you can see
So-
why it's 320. It's got 9 wounds. Strength and toughness is 7. Ballistic and weapon skill is 8. And it's got... Go on, sorry.
I was going to say, is he effectively like a Primarch?
I would say so. He's got a Reaping Sweep, which is a -3 AP. Each time the attack is made with this weapon profile, it makes 2 hit rolls instead of 1. And then it's got Entropic Blow, which is a Strength 14. Oh, actually, I've just had some food delivered. Thank you.
Oh, nice. Is it waffles?
No, it's not waffles. Thanks. And then it has got the Entropic Blow, which is a Strength 14 -4 AP, doing D6. And each time this weapon is made with this profile, invulnerable throws cannot be made against this attack.
Horrendous.
So yeah, I can see why he's 320 points. I have no idea what I've got here. But it's tasty.
Very good. Well, I guess I should. Whilst you're eating, I'll tell you what I'm thinking of taking.
Go on then.
Well, I don't really know yet, so I'm just going to make it up as I go along. So, Dark Angels, 1,000 points. I think I'm currently deliberating between either taking my Hit Bashed Azrael,
Yeah.
but taking him as a firstborn captain.
Oh,
Because
okay.
the firstborn captains can have jump packs.
Mm-hmm.
Because I've given him wings, I'd say those wings can count as a jump pack in terms of modelling.
Mm.
He's got a warlord trait called Calibanite Knight, which means an unmodified wound roll of 2+ is always successful.
Oh,
I
okay.
like that.
It's gonna be useful.
Also, if I give him the chapter master and rites of initiation, that means he can become a Deathwing model.
Yeah.
Or at least have the inner circle keyword, which means you can't wound him on a 1, 2, or a 3 ever.
I think it's gonna be useful. How will this work in terms of, could you load your guys into my transport and then I zip you up the board?
What, take his jump pack off?
Oh no, he can't. Yeah, he can't.
I don't know, to be honest, because we're kind of winging it. would we say that Chris, because Chris is taking two separate detachments of different dynasties, isn't he?
Yeah.
So I'd say we can do whatever Chris can do.
Okay.
So if Chris can do it, if he can load some dynasty into a different transport.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm just thinking because obviously I haven't got any troops, so if you wanted to, you could declare that they're in mine, and then I can zip you up the board, and then you can get out and jump on an objective or something.
Let's see. Yeah. Well, it's confusing me at the minute because we've got. Is it is it the Arcs of Omen thing, or is it the new? Is there a newer one? I forget. Where you don't need troops anymore.
The Arcs of Omen detachment.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the newest one. You can basically have 3 of any whatever you want. I haven't bothered with it. Just gone with the Outriders.
Yeah. Well, I think speedy stuff on that size board is going to be good. Yeah. No, I'm still thinking about it. I like the idea of having my Inceptors being backed up by a jump pack captain.
Yeah, definitely.
Because the captain will have the aura to give them re-rolls on a 1, which means I can supercharge a bit more safely.
Hang on. Depends if they carry the core keyword. I'm having a quick look now.
Yeah, I've got the data sheet. 1 sec. Yes, they do.
Oh. I mean, I could make use of that. I can drop my guys down with your guys then. Oh,
Just
yeah.
re-roll on 1s with flying dudes everywhere. I mean, they're called Dark Angels. They might as well have a load of flying dudes.
My suppressor squad is also cool, so I could drop them down all around your flying guy.
And just have a big sort of buzzing swarm.
Oh, that would be good. Because Chris is basically so his initial sort of plan was to have the scarabs stopping us from shooting. But I saw there was a topic on Reddit again that basically the guy they're starting a game. They've got one of the starter packs, and it's like, please help. He's got his scarabs in front of his warriors. Can I still shoot his warriors? And everybody's like, yes, absolutely, because you can see clear line of sight. Whereas we were playing it as you couldn't. So the only way you can get around it is if you've got lookout, sir, basically, because they're small models. It's the same principle as the dreadnought. They're big models. You can see them, so you can shoot them.
Okay. So it's line of sight first, then the fancy schmancy rules second.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I prefer that.
I think he was hoping to run a line of scarabs to absorb everything. Somebody made a good point. That's very, very good if you're wanting to protect your HQs from psychic attacks, because there has to be the closest enemy. It states that. So that's clever. Yeah. Anyway,
one thing I think is you always use psychers and little tricksy things, so I can imagine Chris will be wanting to put some anti-psyker stuff in there. So if you don't take any psychers,
well, this is what I was thinking. Chris thinks that I should bring a tech marine instead of a psyker to heal up because of the amount of squads guys that he's bringing, warrior guys.
Well, he shouldn't be healing his warriors.
But yeah, I think the psychic might be useful to help us really buff rather than being offensive, be defensive with it.
Yeah, plus 18 inches. It's not a massive range on that board.
No.
Yeah, so I think leaning towards Inceptors. Still tempted to take 6, but with the Plasma Exterminators, they're 60 points per model.
Ouch.
So that's 360 points.
It's a dreadnought, dude.
It was 2 dreadnoughts. You mean adding that squad in, I could have had another dreadnought? Yeah, I could take both my dreads.
He'll hate that. He hates the dreadnoughts anyway.
And though he'll hate it so much he'll go straight after them without thinking.
Mm.
And at that point, we can drop down the plasma.
That's a good point.
Exploit his fears.
So one of the things I was tempted to do is there's a stratagem that enables me to redeploy Ultramarine models. So I was going to basically put a dreadnought in the middle. He sets up and then redeploy, not a dreadnought, sorry, a squad, and then pay a command point to then redeploy that squad elsewhere.
I remember that. Yeah, it's a pain in the derriere.
Mm.
I like it.
But I'm not going to do that.
It's weird seeing it from the other side because normally you've got all these horrible little tricks up your sleeve.
Huh.
And now it's like, yeah, that's a great idea.
Mm. I spent a fair bit of time looking into what I can and can't do. Chris has just been blagging it until now. And now, the last few games, he's started to get a grasp of playing Necrons and thinking more strategically.
And that's born out of the fact that he really doesn't like losing.
Mm. And the fact that he updated Battle Scribe.
Always helps.
Mm.
Yeah, okay. So little flying dudes. There isn't anything special about the fly keyword in terms of -1 to hit or anything like that, is there?
No. Not that I'm aware of.
So jump pack captain, auto bolt rifle intercessors, just to have a little bit of DACA. Feel like I should have my bolt storm aggressors.
Yeah. What about instead of the auto fire? What about the sniper?
Stalkers.
The stalkers.
Yeah, I could take them.
That's what I was
Either
going
or.
to do. Just because they've got I think it's a 48-inch range on them as well.
Oh, let me tell you. 1 sec.
Oh, I thought I had a drink.
36.
36.
36-inch heavy 1. That's the only problem. Although with Dark Angels, if they don't move, then that's a 2+ to hit.
Ooh. Could stick those bad boys in my little impulsor, zip you up the board, chuck you out. Oh, that's what I wanted to have a look. Can you load up mid game? Can you put people into transport and then zip them off again?
I don't see why you couldn't.
Mid game. Loading transport 40k. Rules hammer. Anyway, whilst I'm reading this, what other models are you looking at bringing?
I'm a bit limited because I've still not finished painting most of them. The other option to the jump pack captain is the chaplain, which I would run as a interrogator chaplain, which
I
is
remember
unique
him.
to the Dark Angels, but also give him the jump pack, because that could be a bit tasty in terms of some little melee.
Yeah.
But I'm leaning towards the captain because I want the re-rolls for the plasma guys.
Yeah. Can you not bring both? If you've got
the points.
Okay.
Problem is, if I took the captain, I have to tool him up because I'd add on the jump pack, and then I'd need to give him the chapter master and the rites of initiation to make him Deathwing, and then I'd want to give him a relic.
How about, right, if you bring your jump pack captain, I can bring, instead of my librarian, I could bring one of my lieutenants that's got the grav shoots. So you've got your re-rolls for attacks, and then I can provide re-rolls for wounds. And we could drop them both down at the same time with everything else.
Oh, I bet he'd hate that.
Yeah, I'm thinking, would that be more useful than the ability to bring back command points? Alternatively, I could bring Rebuta Gulliman, and I think he does both. He's a bit much though.
Bearing in mind, I barely ever use command points because I'm still not that up on the game. So for me, command points not so important unless I wanted to use that 2 command point stratagem to make my plasma weapons do 1 more damage.
So we're going to want to have a look, because I can't remember if it's Space Marine or Ultramarine specific. But Chris will be zipping up the board and teleporting and deep striking stuff. And there's some of them that where you get the all specs device scan. That's the one, and then it enables you to shoot as though they drop down, which I've done before, and it really annoyed him last time. I think that's 2 command points.
Okay.
I think I'm going to go Lieutenant.
Okay.
Yeah, I think I'll go Lieutenant. I don't know whether to load up a Lieutenant with the Storm Shield, so the one from Indomitus, or whether I go. Yeah, let's get rid of the Librarian. Off he goes. He's gone.
Okay. Well, the only other thing I could think of is bring Lazarus, but he's basically an anti-psyker melee guy, so that doesn't sound very Necron efficient.
No, he'll be useful, but he's not going to be good against anything with no psychers. Yeah, you're right.
That doesn't sound useful then.
No, he's not useful then, dude. I'm sorry. I was just being nice. Anybody within 6 inches, I can re-roll. Unit makes attack, re-roll wounds of 1. And he's got death from above. That brings me down to 979 points.
Well, realistically, if we wouldn't want him on the plasma guys because they've got like strength 7, 8, or 9, so the wound rolls are going to be pretty good. I don't know. No, actually, I don't know. Just re-rolling ones would be pretty. I don't know anymore. Might just turn it from like 90% of the shots wound to 100%.
Could do. I'll have to think. I've added them on for now.
Okay.
Oops, I've gone over. I've added the wrong one.
Yeah. Well, my decision is always entirely about what I've painted rather than what's good.
Or I can give them a relic. I'll have to have a look at some of the cool relics, see if there's anything decent. I normally go with the Tartarian cloak because I think it's an Ultramarine specific one, and it's a +5 infil save and then a D3 wounds lost at the beginning of movement phase, which is useful.
Pretty good.
Not too sure what to give him. Iron Resolve is the one that I normally go for because I think it gives him an extra wound, and then what else does it do? I've forgotten what Iron Resolve does now. +1 to wound characteristics, and that's it. And then you've got a D6 shrug, so a 6 shrug basically. 6 shrug, no feel no pain, whatever.
I won't profess to know what the right answer is there.
Need to have a little look.
Yeah.
Because I can. There's Warlord traits Vanguard, which I don't know where they come from, but they only come on the Phobos guys. He's got shoot and fade, which I think enables me to shoot and then move off the board again. Once per turn in your shooting phase, after this Phobos has shot, after shooting a character Phobos unit within 6 inches of the Warlord, that unit can make a normal move or advance. In cases it does, then it can't charge. I haven't got any Phobos models, otherwise that would be quite useful.
Apparently, so you're not taking your incursors or anything?
Nope. I'm going purely Outriderish because I think Chris is going to go with the dynasty of his whole army gets objective secured. I reckon
The only thing I heard from Mr. Auspex was one of the most powerful units in the Space Marine Codex is the incursors, as long as you take the Helix Gauntlet, or whatever that is.
Yeah, that's basically once per turn shrug off all incoming attack for that one attack.
That sounds pretty horrible.
Is that the incursor or is that the infiltrators?
Oh god, I don't know the difference, if I'm honest.
Hang on, let me have a look. I think the incursors, are they the ones? Oh, maybe they are the incursors, the ones that you can upgrade. War gear, incursor. No, so the incursors are the ones with the mine. They're the ones that have got the ability to shoot through ruins and not suffer the penalty. So each time the bearer makes an attack, it doesn't get the benefit of cover. And then their weapons ignore all hit rolls, all hit rolls and ballistic modifiers.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's
That's pretty powerful.
I think so. I and the infiltrators, they're the ones that have got the shrug off the one. The other thing that they've got is you can have an infiltrator comms array. So basically, you don't have to be 6 inches from a captain. It 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 works anyway, as though they're next to each other, next to them.
Oh, so it's a bit like the synapse thing
Yes, yeah,
for Tyranids.
similar. So if the bearer is always considered to be within range of the following aura abilities, and then if any friendly Phobos units are on the battlefield, rites of battle, and tactical precision. And they've also got a 12-inch deny for reinforcements. I think they're good squads. I know a lot of people, well, Auspex does now, doesn't he? But
Yeah, well, hopefully people have learned their lesson about buying whatever's the current most powerful.
yeah. But I think so far we've got a bit of a solid list. Perhaps I think Chris is gonna. He says we're going down, but I think he's gonna be crying. He's gonna be crying more than when I defeated him on his birthday at Warhammer World.
Worst birthday ever.
For him, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, bless him.
And then after that, we'll have the fun of the Bugsman Calf and having some. I said earlier on, perhaps we should go to Bugsman Calf, have breakfast, then have a game, then go to the shop, and then have the all day breakfast, and then have a heart attack.
This all sounds wonderful. I can't wait.
I know. I'm looking forward to it. And then I'm also got a bit of money tucked away, so I'm gonna go a bit mad and do some spending.
What are you gonna get?
I don't know. There's a lot of stuff that I want to get. There's a lot of stuff.
Really?
Yeah, I know. I can't help it. So I'm thinking terrain.
Yeah.
I'm thinking the Battle Zone Frontiers, the £135 set with the 2 boards. Then it's got the moon base bits. It's got the walls, and it's got the comms array and that. But then I thought, actually, do I want all that? And I don't. I only really want the Fox antenna and Auspex shrine thing, the satellite
Big
thing,
tall one,
and the tower.
Yeah.
I kind of want the Battle Zone boards. So if they've got them, I'll probably get them. Maybe get them.
Oh, you were all about getting a map.
I am. Maybe I should just get the mats. I'm just undecided. And then if they've got the new defense lines, I'm tempted by them.
Are they out yet?
Yeah. They're on the website to purchase, so I assume they'll be in the shop to purchase.
That'd be good.
And then, so I'm thinking of getting probably one of those, and then I'm gonna hop over and have a look at some tanks, and I might have to buy a tank. Might have to buy a little tank, just a little one. I might have to buy a gladiator.
I mean, that sounds wonderful.
Well, if it's if not the gladiator, probably the impulsor, because the impulsor is the one that I want, but the gladiator looks a bit beefier.
I think I've decided.
Yeah.
If I do get something.
Yeah.
I like the way you're saying yeah, all
Yeah.
excited, like
Yeah.
yeah. Go on, yeah. If I do get something, and it's not going to be a major purchase,
Yeah.
I think I'll get the mech gun,
Oh.
which is apparently it's one of the worst points to pounds ratio things you can buy. It's just a little orc gun, like a turret type thing that's manned by a few Gretchen.
Yeah. But is
That's
it
it,
cool?
really.
Is it cool?
Yeah, yeah. It just sort of stays at the back, and you can arm it with like a custom mega blaster. There's a gun called a bubble chucker,
Mm.
and apparently it's really swingy. Like it's got really low probability of hitting, and then a really swingy damage. It can do loads of damage, or it could just
Oh.
do one. So I kind of like that. That seems the most orky thing. And
Definitely.
because for some bad moons, there's not many decent options for shooting with orcs, and that counts as shooting.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
But having said that, they're Gretchen, so they don't count as orcs shoot. I don't know anymore. I don't know how it works. I'll have
Well,
to look into it.
so I'm tempted to buy the Repulsor Executioner. That's the tank that I'm thinking of getting if it's there. The Repulsor, not the one that I said.
Yeah, the if I was getting a tank, I'd get that one just because it's got that little bit of transport
Yeah,
capability as well.
absolutely. And then I want to buy something Tyranids, and I'm torn between a Tyrannocyte, which is like it's a giant big testicle looking thing that drops. It's like a drop pod basically, but for Tyranids.
Get it?
Or a Tyranid Harpy, which is a big
The
flyer.
flyer.
Yep,
Is it bigger than the winged hive tyrant?
I think so. Yeah,
Wow.
it's £52, so I should imagine it's bigger.
I'm gonna I'm gonna call Forge World out right now.
Yeah.
One of the worst things about it, aside from the price, obviously, and the fact that they're resin, is you go into the shop, like the actual shop part of Warhammer World,
Yeah, yeah.
and they have some Forge World stuff in there because the main Forge World shop is basically just selling Horus Heresy stuff.
Yes, yeah.
But the main shop's got all the other Forge World stuff in, but they're all in those white boxes, so you don't actually know what they are.
Yeah.
So unless you've been on the website and you don't know.
Well, I open them.
Then you get told to leave.
Nah, no, you just like anything. It's okay as long as you don't get caught.
I see. I see. Well, now you've mentioned it on the podcast, I'm sure no one will care.
No, nobody will care. Oh, and the other model I'm thinking of getting is some Hive Guard. You know, the dudes that don't need line of sight to shoot.
Yeah. Are they the ones that are in the really chunky armor?
Yeah, yeah.
Because I thought if you look at the box art, they look stupid. Like, in my opinion, they
They
look
do.
like like the Centurion Space Marines, the ones that like power armor inside power armor.
Yeah.
They look a bit like that. But if you look at them from the side, the Hive Guard, they actually look quite cool.
They look like the Hunchback of Notre Dame.
Yeah, yeah.
And then you can have the version that don't need line of sight, and then you can have a melee version which are pretty mean, and they've got like crab claws. So we shall see, depending on what they've got, depends on what I get. But I'm looking to sink a little bit of money into it, and I'm gonna regret it because I, like everybody that's potentially listening, I'm sure you've all got piles of crack.
Yeah. Well, you've made a massive dent in yours recently. I'd say you deserve to treat yourself,
Top it back up again.
even if 10th edition's coming out with more brand new Tyranids and
Yeah,
potentially Terminators.
yeah, I know.
But don't let me stop you, man.
No, no. Well,
Don't
I
let...
I, st- I shall be buying the Terminators regardless,
Yeah.
unless
Well,
unless they bring out some cool Gravis looking guys.
I mean, either or, really.
Oh yeah,
But then
absolutely.
we all hate painting Gravis armor.
We do, we do. And then one day I'm going to go real crazy, and I'm going to save up £320, and then I'm going to buy a Tyranid Hierophant Bio Titan, which is massive.
That's the one that's like in a mirror glass showcase in the Warhammer Museum, isn't it?
It is. It's the big spider-looking guy.
Yeah, it's really lanky.
It looks like a cat or a dog that's presenting itself. That's in
Oh,
season.
yeah, that's the one.
So I'll either go with that, or I'd really like the Tyranid Harridan, the big flyer. That's £300 as well.
Is that the one that's really fat? Doesn't look like it should be able to fly.
Yeah, it's got huge wings. There's a couple of them at the end of Warhammer World.
I think I know the one.
Yeah, it's
Are we
very
going in,
cool.
by the way?
Oh,
Because it sounds like we're going to play on a massive table,
absolutely.
have two lots of bugmans and a big shopping spree. It sounds like we're not going to have time.
Oh no, we're getting there. The table's booked from 10, I think.
No, but you know how long I take to play.
That is true. I don't know what a time limit is, but they haven't said. They just said it's confirmed. The table's confirmed, so God knows.
Maybe it's the whole day. Because when I went with Daisy before Christmas, we went into Bugman's.
Yeah.
At like 5 to 5.
Yeah.
And they said, sorry, stop serving food at 5.
Oh.
So we just need to make sure, because it's not like a peak day, that things aren't going to close too early.
That's true. Well, we need to make sure that we don't go in too early for food, because we'll have rubbish breakfast.
Oh, yeah.
We need to find out what time the menu changes from morning to afternoon, and then go in at that point.
Mm.
Then again, if we're playing at 10, that gives us 3 hours until we, work up a bit of an appetite.
Yeah, so we just have a little breakfast and then go back in.
Yeah, yeah. That, or we have a breakfast somewhere else on the way up there.
I'm easy with whatever.
Yeah, I'm easy as long as I get something to eat.
Absolutely.
Excellent. Now, on an unpopular opinion, I think Forge World is too cheap. I think it needs to be more expensive. Because
what?
£64 for a single model is just, it needs to be more expensive in my opinion.
You know what?
Hmm.
I can imagine that being an unpopular opinion.
Unpopular opinion.
Is that the jingle?
Could be. Of the week.
What's my unpopular opinion is I don't like either of the Horus Heresy dreadnoughts.
What, the Contemptor Dreadnoughts?
I think they look too round and bubbly.
Oh yeah, but that isn't that because like they're all brand shiny new, whereas like the relic ones look a bit beaten and rubbish. I thought that was an intentional, because all of their armor, the whole of 30k, just looks very new and polished.
Not the newness, it's just the round safety corners.
The round safety corners.
Yeah. There you go, that's my unpopular opinion.
Okay, on the subject of 30k, my unpopular opinion is all of the models apart from the what are they called? What are they called? The Legion, the big guys, the bosses, the Primarchs.
Oh yeah.
All of the models apart from the Primarchs look really boring. All of the Space Marines look incredibly boring. There's no detail on them.
Yeah. Well, we can go from unpopular opinion to unpopular fact. And the unpopular fact is, if you play Horus Heresy, you're just going to be painting Space Marines.
They've got some Mechanicum. Got some.
Do they?
Yeah, there's Mechanicum. I'm looking at them right now.
Well, shut my mouth.
Yeah, they've got the Mechanicum Ordinatatus Lator, which is £385. £358, sorry, which looks like the Eiffel Tower on wheels. And then for £103 you can get the Anaractus which is a Xenophane Tyrant, which looks like a load of shit that's been stuck together on a model, on a base.
Okay, you're selling it to me.
You can also get what are the walkers in AdMech that Eddie used to have?
Oh, um,
Catafranic. Cat.
Was it like a Dune Walker or Dune
No,
Strider?
no. The walkers that he had, Casta
Castellan.
Castella. That's it. So they have those in 30k. They have 30k versions, which look better than the 40k ones, if I remember correctly.
I still think the best thing you can do with them is paint them to look like the robots from Reboot Hack and Slash.
I don't know what I'm doing because obviously I'm having edits and I don't know what I'm doing with them yet. I don't know whether I'm gonna. I more than likely will just repaint their cloaks, and then do their cloaks because he's done the majority of the painting work.
Yeah.
I don't know. Don't know whether to keep them purple or whether to stick in a bit of blue in there, and we'll see. They're at the very bottom of my priority list, slightly above Space Wolves.
I'd save that one for future Joe.
Well, I'm tempted to tell him to keep the Space Wolves and sell them because I've got no interest in Space Wolves. They're all the dwarf models, if I'm honest.
Oh yeah, he bought the actual wolf guard though, didn't he? The actual wolf models.
He did, yes, yeah. I think the only Primaris one that he actually got was the main guy that was in the set that he got with you, where they fight him.
Ragnar versus Gaskell, yeah.
That's the bugger. So yeah,
Prophecy of the Wolf.
I've got little to no interest in Space Wolves. Chris sends his apologies. He's just sent us a message.
Okay. He's up late.
I think he's just been woken up by Tommy.
Oh dear.
One of the popular opinions, actually, one of the new dreadnoughts is the same size as a Redemptor dreadnought, and it's the Leviathan. I mean.
Leviathan, yeah.
Yeah, Leviathan. I said it right the first time. The Leviathan dreadnought is pretty much the same size as the is it the Condemptor dreadnought? No, the Redemptor dreadnought. Sorry.
Oh yeah.
So, but I probably would pay £47 for one actually.
Well, you're in luck. We're about to go somewhere that sells them.
No. Yeah, I'd have one, and then I would use it. I'd paint it up like the first what's it called of the Ultramarines first company. That's the word.
Company, that's the one. Yeah, I always get those confused.
They just like to confuse things.
Yeah.
Still not too keen on the Brutalis dreadnought. It's the gun. It's the gun on the top that I don't like.
Can you just not put it on?
Probably, but I think it would have looked cooler if there was one of those turrets or one of those on either shoulders, sort of thing, rather than on its head.
I know what you're saying.
Might look a bit beefier.
But then the Redemptor's got the Icarus pod on its head, hasn't it?
I know, but mine doesn't because I went with the easy build, didn't I?
Oh yeah.
I don't have that luxury.
But your data sheet does.
But my data sheet does, and I always spend those points, even though they're now free. I like how one of yours is this the sarcophagus is exposed. It's like, brothers, I want to feel the wind on my face one last time.
Yeah, it makes no sense, but that's the best thing about Warhammer.
It doesn't need to. I mean, you can have Space Marines that are walking around with t-shirt cannons firing into the air that look absolutely fucking ridiculous.
Yeah, that's the thing. You can have massive power fist type things which make, again, no sense. I know this sword will kill all of these thousands of guns. But as soon as someone makes a little boxy rocket launcher, all hell to pay.
Oh, I know. Hell pay. I'm off tomorrow. I've got some annual leave.
Very good. I've got some more to take at some point as well.
Maybe you should take it on the 25th of March. It's a
Saturday.
It's a Saturday. You don't need annual leave for a Saturday, do you?
No, but I was just I was being called into different places with work, which was making it a bit difficult.
No, that's fine. They'll understand, dude. They'll understand.
Yeah.
So I might take a trip into the Warhammer shop tomorrow in town.
That's a little warm up.
Yeah, just to get the fire burning in my belly, the cauldron burning, furnace.
So you talk to them for ages, and they say, "You going to buy anything then?" And you say, "No, I'm going to Warhammer World in a bit."
In a bitch.
Hmm.
Oh dear. Awesome.
Right. I think we've given people much value for money on this talk.
We have 1 hour and 38 seconds.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? We've waffled and warred. Well, we've waffled about war for a long, long time today.
Excellent. And we thought we weren't going to have anything to say.
I know.
The waffle always comes.
Waffle always cometh. Right, thank you very much for listening. Like, subscribe, tell your mums, all that. We're on social media, on Instagram, we're on Spotify. You name it, we're probably on it. Maybe, maybe not. Leave a comment down below. Let us know what your thoughts and feelings are. And let us know if you made it to the end of the video without skipping all the way through. Or to the end of the podcast, because apparently you can comment. I don't know.
You win a sticker if you do.
Yeah.
A Strymon sticker.
a fabricated and made up sticker.
Yes.
In fact, you win a sticker, and you get your name put on a list for when we make stickers, and then we'll send you one. Anyway,
Perfect.
goodbye.
Goodbye.